subscribers, followers, likes, dislikes. Whether we like it or not, my friend, and whether we admit it or not, these are the numbers. These are the metrics that we cling to, that we long for to give us credibility as a business owner and as a content creator. It's how we ascribe credibility subconsciously or consciously to other people. And these are what I'm going to call vanity metrics. These numbers, in my opinion, they don't represent credibility, and they have little to do with the credibility or the success of a person or a business owner. And so what I want to do in today's video is really challenge this notion and challenge these metrics that one way, they have no bearing on whether you're successful or not, and they should not be a marker that you look to for your credibility or success. And then B, they have no bearing on whether someone else is successful or credible. So you shouldn't look at them for other people to know whether you should follow them or like them or even trust what they're saying. These numbers are just that. They're numbers, and they're all vanity. So in today's video, I'm going to break down why, and I'm going to walk you through what really matters when it comes to your business success and your credibility. Now, I'm going to share an interesting story that will help tie all of this together. And my hope is that you're going to leave this episode with a little more clarity on what to chase after and what to look for in your business and in others. Let's discuss. So look, I think this is an important conversation. And the first point is like vanity metrics, they never tell the full story. They never tell the full story. At best, you could call them vague interest markers, right? So if somebody has a lot of followers or subscribers or likes, I mean, that tells you something. That tells you that a lot of people seemingly, unless they bought those followers, which does happen, by the way, but let's assume that they're legit. It tells us that people like this person or this brand, and that's a good thing, right? I mean, 1 million followers is better than not 1 million followers in that it might give a vague marker of interest, but it certainly doesn't tell the full story. And look, I want to share this. So CNBC, they did a piece on a business coach who I follow, and they did the whole thing. They sent a film crew to do an interview at his house. They interviewed him about his story and his business that he's built and his family and pretty much everything that you'd expect from one of these pieces and one of these bio pieces, right? And the comment section on that video, like, it was wild. But there was one comment that was posted that I screenshot and I tucked it away. And I was like, I got to talk about this. There was a guy who looked him up after watching that video, and here's what his comment was. And I think his comment is very telling. And I think his comment kind of represents where a lot of us are, and whether we are, as antagonistic as this person was or not. But the point is the way he thinks is the way a lot of people really think at the moment. And all right, so the comment was, this guy's got 14,000 followers on Instagram and 35,000 on YouTube. His videos barely get any views. How's he making 1.6 million a year if he doesn't even have a big following? So this might not even be an antagonistic question. This might be an honest question. Now, this guy, he doesn't know that his follower count has probably gone up since doing that interview. But right, he's like looking at him in this video, and he looks him up on Instagram, and it's like sub 20,000 followers on Instagram and a little over, 40,000 subscribers on his YouTube. None of his videos have gone viral, right? At best, he has a video that's done a few 100,000 views, which is solid, but it's nothing crazy. And, most of his videos, they don't even come close to that. And so this guy leaving that comment, he's super confused. How is this guy making 1.6 million a year when he doesn't have a big following? And this comment, that part of the question, how do you make that amount of money when you don't have a big following, represents the way we think when it comes to the business side of the vanity metrics. Plenty of people want lots of followers just to feel good about themselves. But us, we're business owners. And I'm talking about the business side of things. Like there's such a disconnect. People are like, I don't get it. Don't I need a big following to make lots of money? Bigger following, lots of money. Here's the thing, that formula, it's just not true. Yes, sometimes you have people with big followings that make lots of money, but that doesn't, one doesn't lead to the other. Just because you have 1 million followers doesn't mean you make millions of dollars or anywhere close to that. And the opposite's true. Just because you have a small following doesn't mean you make small money. Like the two are not correlated. And that's the point that I really want to drive home. Like there are people that can help you grow your following. Like I'm not that guy. I could care less about the size of your following. I could care less about the size of my following. But why is that? Well, we'll get to that in a minute. But the first point is that your following count, your subscriber count, your vanity metrics, like they never tell the full story. And this business coach, like he's a good example of this because like this guy's confused. How does he make this much money with such a small audience? Obviously, the bigger the audience, the more opportunity you have to convert more people into customers. But the two are not always connected. And look, there's not some magical size that this like is, how do you get 6 figures if you have this amount of followers, or if you want to make $1 million, you need to have this amount of followers. Like they're completely unrelated. And, I'll give the example of this business coach's YouTube channel. If you went to his account and you pulled it up and you looked at the YouTube numbers, there's roughly 40,000 subscribers, right? And this year, he's probably going to do like 1.7, 1.8 million in turnover. Now, he's got a second business called The Recording Revolution, where he helps people make high quality music, and that channel has over 600,000 subscribers. And while that business has done 7 figures for multiple years, he openly says it's not going to make as much in that business as he's doing in the coaching and teaching people about online products, which is what he focuses on the most. And he has over 10x the amount of followers in the recording business side of things. So, again, the two are not always correlated. And do you know why? Because what matters is what you sell, how you sell. Do you have recurring revenue? Do you have a suite of products to cater to different clients for your 80% of customers, 16%, or top 4? Do you have a funnel that's selling for you? Do you have intentional promotions throughout the year? Are you doing collaborations? Like there's so much happening behind the scenes in all of our businesses that these people who are so confused at something like this CNBC video are like, how does he make money? Like, how does he make that kind of money? I'm assuming he needs millions of followers. Like they don't understand that we're all running businesses here, and I don't, and you don't need a big following to go and make good money on the business side of things. Now, if you're trying to make money as a YouTuber, for example, or some kind of influencer on social media or YouTube or whatever, then yeah, like you're getting paid for the number of followers indirectly or directly. Like the more followers you have, the higher rates you can command with brands and, do sponsored posts, or if you run ads on your YouTube videos and monetize your channel, obviously, the more views you get, the more ad revenue you get. So like that is a model. And that, since it's vanity driven, like we can see that. And I think that's the model that a lot of old model business owners and people are used to. And, maybe that's what you're used to. A lot of people have this idea that might be just stuck in their head, just like we have a 9-to-5 mentality as an employee that's hard to shake. And people, they become a self-employed person. And if you looked at the internet and social media and YouTube and the vanity metrics, the bigger the following, the bigger the money, it's going to be hard to shake that mindset and get into business where the size of your following has little to nothing to do with how much money you make. Like everything's all about the offers that you offer and the percentage that you convert and how dialed in your system for selling is, okay? So Look, the number 2 point is that you're never going to be satisfied chasing these vanity metrics. Like, you might have goals, okay? I have goals. It's a never-ending answer. If you get 100,000 followers on YouTube, you'd no doubt be thinking like, wow, this is amazing. And if you get 100,000 people following on your Instagram, like it's incredible. And, like YouTube, they even send you a plaque, like it's amazing. And then most people are like, I need 1 million to get to the next class. Like a million's a lot. So it never ends. Like when you reach a goal, it never ends. So if it's a goal that literally has no bearing on your income and your ability to live an incredible life, and it's never ending, never satisfying, like that's a deadly combination. It doesn't have to do with your business or your life improving, and it never satisfies, even if you reach that goal. So you could be constantly, needing to chase a higher number to feel good about yourself. And even if it's not a specific number, just that constant growth, you just want to see that number at least, ticking up, so you're going on the right path. And this is a trap. Like it's a trap. I want you to run a business, like not a popularity contest and not a vanity metric contest. Like I don't care, and I don't want you to care how many followers you have. I want you to look at your profit and loss statements that your accountant gives you, and I want you to look at your web analytics and your sales data. I want you to look at like dollars in your bank account is the metric that probably matters most if you're being cold and hard and just straight up factual about it. If we're in a business, the number that matters is the dollars that come in, right? More dollars means you're more successful at converting and selling, and that you have an offer that people actually want. And if you have more dollars and more testimonials and, life changes, then they know that not only are you good at selling, but you're good at also creating that transformation. And that transformation and testimonials will lead to more dollars, right? Now, there's a book called The Go-Giver where they talk about, money being the applause to you adding value in the marketplace, right? So if I go out and I serve people so powerfully that they give me their hard-earned money, then that's the number in the metric that I subscribe to the most. It's not the number that matters the most in terms of living a life worth living, but it's a reflection of the value that I'm creating in the world. So if you want money, like you've got to go and serve and add value first, and the money will come. That's the applause. It's the result of adding value, but that's the number. Like if you want a number, if you want a metric that really matters at the end of the day, like it's just dollars. How much did you make? It doesn't matter. Like if you know your followers, it doesn't matter the price of your products. It doesn't matter how much a build costs. It doesn't matter in the days. It doesn't matter the number of days in your funnel. It doesn't matter how many promotions you did. Like those are all the means to an end of making the money that you want to make. And to take it a step further, I mean, I track dollars and I track hours of output because, I care about two currencies. Well, I actually kind of care about three. But in business, two currencies that I'm tracking are how much money can I make and how much time does it take to generate that money? Because if I've got, I don't know, $10,000 coming in every month for the sake of a number, but I'm working 80 hours a week, then I've got like two metrics that are kind of opposed to each other, right? And this is about me. Like if you follow me for anything that you've done, but I want the dollar metric to go up and the hour output metric to go down. And when I see that number going up, dollars, and hours worth going down, I know that my business is healthy. And then there's a third currency, which is like your own health. So you want to be able to take care of that, because without that currency, like you can't make money and you're certainly not going to have the time. You can't have time to go and create and spend a good life. So those are the metrics that matter, not the vanity metrics, not the likes, not the follows. And the third point, and this one is, I really want to challenge this one, is like, what are you actually getting? Like, let's say you get a high vanity metric count. Let's say you get 1 million followers or whatever the number is for you. How many doors is that actually going to unlock for you? So I'll give you this. In our shallow, vanity metric driven world, if someone hears about you and they click over to your Instagram page or whatever, whatever your thing is, and they see like, oh my God, he's got 200,000 followers, it gives you a little bit of credibility in the average person's mind to pay a little bit more attention. Like, okay, he must be doing something right. So it'll give you that, and I'll give you that. But where you might get a little bit of attention, you might get invited somewhere, you might, get invited on a podcast. So I know that for a fact because of a thing called audience hacking, right? Because people see that and they think that's successful, because we all know at the end of the day, like even a rabbit, even a bunny can have a high follow count, right? Like Benny the Bunny. You ever watched Benny the Bunny on YouTube? Like Benny is crushing it on YouTube, and it's a bunny. Like, what kind of value can a bunny add to your life? I mean, don't get me wrong, like I've had pet rabbits and rabbits are great, but between that and then the kids having millions of followers unboxing toys, like there's this, it's not a credibility place. It's just anybody. It's possible to get a big follower count, right? But when you see someone making good money in their business in a random field, in a little micro niche, that's credibility for the business, and that's incredible. So when you see a transformation of your clients and the people that you work with and what they're having, like that's credibility, and that's incredible, and that's what's interesting to people. So let's talk about ways to actually assess credibility. We talked about what I think makes your business credible, like, dollars in the bank, the number of hours out going down, and those two numbers that I track, whatever. But again, here's what I think gives you credibility. What does your audience actually say? Like, what does your audience say about you? It's very easy when you get started to really care about your audience. They're small, and you've got these big metric numbers that you want to get. And I believe that most people are genuine people. So I believe that this is how you feel about it, because it's how I feel about it. When you start, or if you're starting right now, like you might have 20 people watching your videos, 50 people reading your emails, or whatever it is, but like those people, you almost know them by name because you see the same people commenting and you're interacting with them, and you appreciate them taking the time out to watch your video, listen to your podcast, or read your blog, and they're engaging with you, and you're trying to serve them powerfully, and you believe that it's worth it because you're changing people's lives, and you care about what they say, not the numbers, because then the numbers will come. Now, fast forward a little bit and you start to get sucked in, and I know this because I've had this happen to myself. You get sucked in and you start to think, well, how come this person is seeing those kind of results, getting that kind of attention and those kinds of numbers? Like, my stuff's just as good as theirs. And I'm telling you in this whole video that I don't care about vanity metrics, and yet I've compared myself to other people who do what I do. Like, I've been guilty of this, but I believe that if I ignore those numbers and focus on serving the people who I want to work with and helping them have more life change and helping them have more success with their business, that's more important than numbers and likes, shares and follows. I may not get the most views on a video, but when I see the comments or the emails, the responses of people, they're like, mate, you're spot on. It's like you've run my business before, or literally like, you've got my attention. Let's talk. Like, that's credibility to me. Visible results, right? Visible results can be so many things. Can you see the tangible transformation in your clients' lives that you've helped them create? Do you see the dollars coming in for you? Like, those are tangible markers of credibility. During any sort of marketing or press you might get, anytime someone wants you to come and have a chat with them about their project they have in mind, like, these are things that's tangible evidence that you're making a difference because someone saw what you're doing, they like it, and they want to bring you into their world. It's why I give so much of my thinking away for free. Call it self-indulgent, but I want people to be like, hey, there's this guy on YouTube doing this thing, like, it's free, it's awesome, you should come check it out. And people are inviting their friends to check it out because, they think it could help them too. It's all digital word of mouth. which is, it's all the internet is, by the way. Like, it's all social media is. Like, people talk about things for better or worse, and things that they like or don't like. And if something's good, people share it. And here's what matters, right? Your credibility, I believe, is the amount of money you're making, how few hours it takes, the client transformations that you're getting, the testimonies that you're getting. But at the end of the day, what matters is this is your business. So what matters is in achieving the goals that you have is usually going to be the money and the time-related goals. So, how do you feel about your own business? Are you proud of it? Can you go to sleep at night and feel like, I'm proud of the brand that I'm building. I'm proud of the values that I stand for. I'm proud of what I'm creating. I'm proud of the kind of clients that I'm helping and the results that they're getting. How do you feel about your own business and your own brand? Like, I think that matters a lot more than a follow count or, a like count or a dislike count, because the content, as much as I preach content and I believe in content and it's the thing that drives the business, it's still only that. It's the thing that drives the business. The business is meant to serve your life. And so the things in the business are our means to an end. And the end is this beautiful convergence of doing work that matters in the world, that helps people, and you make a great living, you've got a great life. And if we could create that without making content, without having followers, and by completely being anonymous, well then, hey, like, that's a great goal too. Like, my goal isn't to become famous. And my goal for you isn't to become famous or huge on YouTube or huge on TikTok. My goal for you and my goal is to build the life I want and do work that I really believe in, if you like. And I'm like, how does what I'm doing in this video or with this client, like, how does it make a difference? And I want to do stuff that makes a difference, that I'm excited about. And I want to live a great life and make good money and have time. So content is really just a cog in that machine. And it's an important cog. And there's metrics that kind of give you a slight indicator of whether that cog's performing well. But that cog, like, look at the results that cog creates, not the cog itself. So don't look at how shiny it is or how well it spins. Look at the machine. Look at what the machine is outputting and how you feel about the machine as a whole and what the machine gives you. Like, make sense? So you're going to get caught up in vanity metrics. It's inevitable. I still do, but I'm giving you permission to just not really care. Like, let's focus on growing revenue. Let's focus on reducing hours of input in your business. And let's focus on getting your clients incredible results. Results that they're proud of and results that you're proud of. Like, that's a metric that matters. Those three things. So let me know. If you're watching, let me know. Once you leave a comment below, let me know. Are you getting tripped up with vanity metrics? Like, what is that vanity metric that you've just been so fixated on that you're going to give up and say, forget it? Because overall, like, it's just a number that doesn't matter. Guys, thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope this is helpful for you. I hope it's given you something to think about. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.